Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is the news with Ishma. For all your latest news in PNG, please subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna kick it off with a segment I like to call a closer look. Now, closer look. One thing I cannot stand is lines. Everywhere you go in the city, in the country, anywhere, Leh, Hagen, all these centers, even Port Moresby, currently I am in. There are a lot of lines. Now, are these businesses doing something about the lines? We have no idea. Maybe some have already done something about the lines. The practice of standing in lines is notorious with Leh. When you go to Leh, you see people getting there by 5 o'clock in the morning. They already put in slippers and I don't know, socks or shoes in the line. Yeah. So this kind of practice has been going on for about some years now. And what are the businesses doing something about? If are they doing something about these lines? One time I went to BSP Leh main market and I stood there until the afternoon and I didn't get served. So what is the problem here? What are we getting at here? What I'm stating is that BSP or these banks, they need to improve their lines. Do not change the lines. Now the lines are perfect as they are. The lines are a standard. They cannot be corrupted. You see, a line cannot be corrupted. But I've noticed something with BSP. They've introduced the name calling list. So what you do is when you go into a bank, like a branch at BSP, they get your name and then they ask for a reason you are there. Now, one interesting story about myself. I recently went to a branch at BSP and yeah, they took, I went there around 11 o'clock midday and they took my name and yeah, it was like all cool. I thought like, it just be, oh, it's a new thing. So I was like, oh, it's faster. So I went and I sat in the line, just waiting for my name to be called. Then, one by one, other people's names were being called, and then, I was like, hey, what's going on here? And maybe I was like, oh, maybe since I requested for two services, maybe that's the reason why my name wasn't being called, because they had to put me in two lines. So I have no idea how the process goes, but so I waited 11 o'clock, stood there. Mind you, I took time off of work to be there. I stood there until my boss was checking in on me. I said, "Oh, what time would you be back in the office?" And I was still in the line. I said, "Oh, boss, I think I'll still be in the line." My boss, she let me. She said, "Okay, it's fine. Take your time, anytime. You could always stay back after hours." I was like, "Cool, right?" So that gave me the okay. So I was thinking maybe, since it's going slow, maybe 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock the latest. I guess at 1 o'clock maybe. So I stood there. They went out for their lunches, and they came back, and yeah, we were still there. And I was just listening to names until I think I dozed off for a while. And yeah, I got frustrated because it was already 2 o'clock, and I was like, oh, 2 o'clock, maybe I should take some time. And then I was telling myself 3 o'clock, the latest. 3 o'clock, my name not called, and I'm gone. And so I was patiently waiting, and then 3 o'clock came, and I was like, maybe 3:30, 3:30 if my name don't be called. And when I said that, I said a while, I was looking, and then when I looked at my phone, it was already 3:30. So I was like, you know what? Let me just tell my boss I'll come back. I'll be back right now. So texted my boss. She said it's cool. And then it went to 4 o'clock. I got so frustrated. I stormed out of the place. I shouted. I didn't make a scene, but I just shouted, "You all are gonna be here until the night falls." So the paper they gave me, I squeezed the paper, I threw it in the trash, and I stormed off. So yeah, I stormed off, and then the exit had to be like some distance away. Poor customer service, man. Now, what I think happened was corruption. Now, even in line situations, even in this kind of new systems, people always find a way to profit off of this. Who is running this line system? What happened? But yeah, I waited for like 4 hours, man. I don't know. Was it 4 hours? Yeah, nothing happened. What's the fault here, guys? So I posted it on LinkedIn, and some people said, well, they allow their relatives or their friends people they know to go ahead of you, then they push your name back. And I was just thinking, isn't that like counterproductive? You're holding up the line even more by doing that, rather than if you go name by name in line, like how it was slotted, then that would be faster. Because some queries, like they were calling, bank statement here and counter one, and then they called renewal of cards counter four or something, and then counter five had deposits. I was like, what is going on here? Like, who is the manager of this branch? You should be ashamed of yourself for running such a crappy branch. And yeah, I think they should improve their services. I posted it on LinkedIn, and some, people, they commented. They said, "Yeah, exactly. We feel your pain." Like everyone related with the post I posted. I said we waited for 3 hours, but I actually think we waited for more than that. 4 hours. I think I waited 4 hours. Some people said, "Oh, we came here at 9 o'clock and we're still here," and that made me like so pissed. Cause you're a premier bank, right? And I think it was just the branch. The branch BSP needs to find another manager of this branch because the manager currently sucks, man. Anyways, guys, I hope you do not suffer the same fate. Also, something I would like to say with lines while we're on the topic, NID, man. NID is like a cat and mouse chase where they send you to one place and then you go up to another place and then you go to another place and then you come back to that place, which sucks ass, bro. Which definitely sucks ass, man. Like, it's like a cat and mouse chase. Yeah. So I got my NID. They said it was there in the system in 2016, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll be happy to print it for you." And 2016, I have no idea. Maybe it will expire next year or something. 10 years duration. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. NID, man. And then they told me, oh, to reprint, you have to provide information and like get court stamps from lawyers and all that. The process is so dumb and stupid. They make you run around just to get your NID card or reprint your card. And then when I came back, they told me, oh, check again in 3 weeks once I left everything. So I'm gonna go check again in 3 weeks. That's next week. And if nothing happens next week, then maybe they might say, "Oh, check again next 3 weeks again, or in 1 week time, or something." They might give me something, so I'll come back and update you guys on that. So, guys, 3 weeks. Took me 2 weeks to get everything, and then now it's gonna take 3 weeks to go back and follow up. And my name might not even be in the system. Someone might just take my name and throw it to the side and forget about it. It's this kind of things. Like, if you've been employed, right? If you have been employed and you know that you are getting paid every Wednesday or every Thursday or whatever, you get paid. Try to do your job. That's what I would. That's what I would advise Papua New Guineans. Like, if you're being employed, just because people do things a certain way there, like people don't follow the rules of the job, doesn't mean that you have to follow them. Okay, you have to do be someone different, right? You have to do something different. You cannot just go and become part of the system there. It's a really bad trait or bad culture to adopt. So in public service, public servants need to improve with basic services, basic stuff. You have to improve yourself. But what I was thinking is, maybe these people at the offices, they're casuals. They're not really confirmed officers. A lot of public servants are casuals. They're not a whole lot of them are confirmed officers, because there's a lot of process to being a confirmed officer, and also corruption at the highest level as well. So even the middle level, the lower level, there's a lot of corruption even at the lower level. We do not speak often about lower level corruption. Something like, an example I would give you, one of my friends, he has been in the public service for like 2 years now. Now, in the Employment Act of PNG, you cannot be a casual worker for not more than 3 years, right? Or 2 years. It's not more than 3 months. After 3 months, you have to be in the system. You have to be paid accordingly on time. So, the law here is kind of flimsy. So, public service, it's a bit a gray area where they kind of do not use they just take and erase laws willy-nilly, acts, they cite acts that, amended acts and all that crap junk that everybody, like a normal person, just wouldn't be able to understand. So they tend to use those kind of things to their advantage. So let me give you an example. Like I said, my friend has been in public service for 2 years and he hasn't been confirmed yet. And yeah, they sent everything, the files, everything. They constantly sent it down to DPM and Department of Personal Management, and has been delayed for some time, and constantly been delayed and all that. And they make up excuses. The officers, the action officers, they make up excuses. They say, "Oh, we don't have. It's with the bosses," or they say, "Oh, this person that's supposed to do it is out." And they give all these sorts of excuses to basically not do their job. But then, my friend, he said one time he was in a bit of a pickle. He owed some people some money because of he was taking loans or booking. He was booking without, he was getting paid monthly. So what he was doing is he was booking money fortnightly to survive, sometime fortnightly, or some weeks when he didn't have money. All his money is just he owes people money. That's all. He's broke. So he heard from He went to the DPM office, and the DPM officer said, you know, we can do it, but we can do it for you. You can just also you can straight one like cola, like you can give us something, and then we can fast track it, and cause it's in the system, and if you want yours to be faster, then you can help us, and then we'll help you. Like bribery essentially to fast track the process. That's all it is. They expect us to give them bribes, and which is unconductedly, and I think it should be investigated. Police should investigate these people. This is corruption in the highest level, and yeah, I'm willing to take this to the police if these officers do not stop this kind of corruption. Yeah, it's corruption. Basically, they're holding your livelihood at ransom because they want quick money, quick cash, just now to do stuff. That's all it is. They I don't know how they pay that well. Or how do they live with themselves? Who knows, man? Corruption, man. But then again, I go back to the thing that I go back to. It's always the system. So I think these officers they learned this from the previous officers. It's been a culture there or something. Who knows? That's always the case. It's not really one person that does it. It's the entire organization. When it's bad, it's bad. So yeah, and yeah. Anyways, these are just my 2 points for a closer look. Now we're gonna go into some of the news recently, and we're gonna shed some light on current news. I just wanna speak about the recent tragedy. It's one of the news. Two local girls in Western Islands they lost their lives due to the council elections. So the story is that the council elections was held, and there were winners and losers, and also sore losers. Get that in mind, guys. So what I want to take away from all of this, sure, it's a tragedy that these two girls and some boys suffered in the hands of the election. And this was just, mind you, this was just council elections. And what does this teach us? This teaches us that if you cannot handle losing in elections, or if you cannot handle losing in general, do not stand for something. Do not run for elections if you cannot lose, like, lose properly. If you're a sore loser, you get angry and you retaliate. This kind of people, you should not stand for election. Even your supporters should not be allowed to be alive, because this is not just, I am not just saying these things. People lost their lives. Two girls lost their lives because of this bullshit. Enough is enough. Enough law. Enough of this plus mentality. This mentality, tribalism mentality. Stop it. We need to unite. If someone wins, okay, do not be a sore loser about it. Congratulate them and tell them we'll see you in the next election. What about that? You come back stronger. Maybe your policies weren't like aligning. People didn't, because you didn't do jack squat and you expect people to vote for you. You didn't do anything for the community. And rather than just losing and accepting it, you want to go ahead because you, in your twisted mind, you think that something happened and you lost because you were supposed to win. You've convinced yourself that you were supposed to win. Maybe the people didn't want you. That's it. There's no other thing. There's no bribery involved or anything. People are elected because the people chose them. You are elected because village people, they choose you because you give them service. You help them out. And all of this, you plus double city go and you are going back there to contest. No, they won't even recognize you. They won't know who you are. So get that through your head. If you haven't done anything for the community, in your community, do not even try to stand for election. That's a really bad idea because you will lose. And it will give you depression and you might go mentally insane and try to burn someone's house or do something crazy. So I urge you, please, if you're a sore loser, do not stand for elections. If you can take winning, if you can take losing well, if you can take losing well, then sure, go ahead. If you cannot take it, then maybe you shouldn't be representing the people. Anyways, guys, it's a real tragedy for. I heard that these two girls were university students, and yeah, it's really, really a big loss to the country. Some of our human resources have been lost due to stupid tribalism fights and election related violence. This is 2025. When are we going to change? Is this telling me that Ogada, all these Highlanders, you guys are sore losers, or what's this telling me? And trust me, I come from Ella. I am from Ella province and I know what I'm talking about. Ella province, we may be a lot of things, but we are not like this, okay? Sometimes we do this stuff, but most of the time our leaders don't encourage us to do this kind of stupidity. And you may call us a lot of things, but we don't destroy people's houses and kill people just because of this kind of stupid election stuff. Really sad day for Western Islanders. Also, meanwhile, you guys are fighting and your hospitals, you are hurting each other. And where are you going to go to hospital for? Your Nazareth hospital has been shut down. I think it's been minimized in service, not shut down, but minimized. So the only option, you gotta go to Lay or something. I don't know, Simbu or something. Guys, please, let's just stop, refrain from elections. If you know that you have no chance in winning, just do not stand for election. Do not get this grandiose thinking that just because your uncle told you or you could stand for election, then maybe. Yeah, the hospital thing, it's just mismanagement. The funding was already released. So whatever happened to the money, that's up to you guys at the PHA, the Provincial Health Authority. That's your PHA's fault, okay? You should be investigating your PHA. Funding has been released. Finance and Treasury has documentation. They can show you the documentation if you want. Send auditors, and we'll see. Anyways, guys, this has been another crazy development and news. Please, as I said in the closer look, lines are a big issue, and yeah, maybe I'll stress more on the, how you shouldn't stand for election if you're a sore loser. Anyways, that's it, guys. That is the news with Ishmael, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.